Hi everyone, welcome to the first English episode in the history of our VR checking podcast. And because of today's guest, it makes perfect sense. The person you're about to hear from is a student at the University of Derby studying Motorsport Engineering. He's in his first year and is already involved in the Formula 4 project. He also recently gained experience from the Daytona 24 Hours in the esports series. If needed, you can use the Czech subtitles below. Today's episode is provided to you by Vojta and Tom. We hope you enjoy the interview.
Let's go!
Valtteri into James.
So it's hammer time.
Very lovely, that. I am stupid.
Good operator! We did it again! Okay, yeah, check it.
So, to begin with, you're in your first year and already working on a Formula 4 car. What is your role there and what are you responsible for?
I'm in my first year and I'm part of this Formula 4 project with one of the other students. And together we're working on making a more aerodynamically efficient rear wing mount and potentially designing a new rear wing as well. Our role is very hands-on, and hence that's why this opportunity was provided to us, and we chose to sign up for this opportunity to get more hands-on and practical experience. And we use the data available to us and use design components and design applications such as SolidWorks to do the basic structural work, design the mount and the rear wing, and using 3D printer create a miniature structure for it and test in the wind tunnels and apply the theory to real engineering problems and learn how these race cars are developed and actually works.
Okay, and could you elaborate on that a bit more? Does university have its own wind tunnel? Who covers the costs? And how much time can you actually spend there validating things and testing?
Yeah, so with the wind tunnel, what you can use is different shape and structures you can make via the 3D printer and using SolidWorks, and basically assess the airflow using the wind tunnel. And you got all the system and data over there with the computers to check, for example, the drag coefficients and how smoothly the air is flowing through your object. And yeah, it's university airing. I think it's on the university website how much it costs, and we get to spend quite a lot of time on it, especially in second year. I will be spending a lot of time in there because I will be focusing more on aerodynamics program. But yeah, during my last semester, probably around 2 to 6 hours I've spent the wind tunnel with my group, and we were analyzing all the different shapes such as the sphere, the teardrop streamline shape, a golf ball, objects like that, and trying to assess that and then calculate their drag coefficients, and then sort of, put in a graph, compare them, see why is certain objects more aerodynamic than the others.
You're supposed to move into Formula Student in your second year. What makes it different from Formula 4?
Formula 4, I would say, is probably an older car. So the Formula 4 I'm working on is more 1970s, 1980s, whereas Formula Student cars, you make a new one every single year. So I wouldn't say there would be a big challenge because the concepts and theory is the same. It's just probably more commitment, more focused work, because we're actually part of the Formula Student team and we want our car to be really good. So I'd probably say the challenge would be just more focused work rather than more relaxed project work.
As Great Britain is something of a motorsport valley, could you imagine yourself working in GT cars, for example?
Yeah, I would love to be part of a GT car teams and sort of maybe do like an internship or be like a junior engineer in future, because there's so many options, and not particularly the professional side, more like the Mini Cooper GT Cups or sort of like Mazda Cups. So sort of like competitions like that would be good as well to get more experience and sort of work my way up from there. So from junior engineers, senior engineers, get the experience. And yeah, it's a good thing that in Great Britain, you got a lot of options to be a part of GTC.
What are the requirements for getting into this type of school? How difficult is it to pass the selection process? Does it cost a huge amount?
Well, so the high school education is free in the UK unless you go to like a private school. It's not very difficult to get into a normal school. For private schools, you might need probably a certain grade requirement they might ask for. Private schools will cost you a tiny bit more, but otherwise, normal state school education is free. And it's just about what's being offered or what the student wants to do. It's probably would say probably more depends on which university you go to, because such as University of Derby, and there's a couple more universities in the UK which do courses like Motorsport Engineering, which is more focused into motorsport industry rather than your general mechanical engineering, and you have to go be part of a racing team to get the racing experience, whereas in motorsport engineering you're already learning more about the racing industry, and then you're also doing stuff like Formula Student stuff.
You are looking for a summer internship. How high can an ambitious motorsports engineering student aim?
Yeah, I would say I am looking for a summer internship right now, even though I'm a first year student, but it would be great to get experience from now. It really depends. So like my ambitions are to work in like big F1 companies, or even such as like NASCARs, or being on rally teams, GC teams. The stuff like people do endurance racing recently, like Daytona 24 hours. So being part of those things would be my ambition. And I would say probably a lot of motorsport engineering students like me have got similar interest in working, and especially F1. I would say a lot of people want to work in F1. But in order to work for those companies, you need to get a good experience, good internship experience in very good companies. It's more about getting as much experience as you can get and just try to be better than the other candidates who might be applying for the same job.
Could you tell us more about the personal project you're working on at the moment?
Yeah, so my personal project on Formula Ford, with me and my group project member, we're just taking it really slowly because we're still trying to learn the theory side and how to use applications such as SolidWorks and design the rear wing and the rear wing mount for it. So it's just, we're sort of taking it really, not relaxed, but I would say more calmly, rather than really trying to go into as quick as we can. So we try to look into different data which is available to us. So like, sort of compare different rear wings. So for example, like a Porsche GC3 rear wing, or the NASCAR rear wings, the rally car rear wings, Formula One car rear wings. So work our way from there to see which might suit a really old 1970s, 1980s Formula Ford car, because you don't want to make it look really weird, and you really want it to be effective if we actually take the Formula Ford car into testing.
How time consuming is it?
The personal project, I would say it's not really time consuming right now, because again, we've been told it's sort of our personal project. We can take it in our own speed and time. So probably twice a week, or sometimes once a week, me and my group project meet up in the workshop and work on it. And whenever we got time in our independent time, we can work on it as well. But right now, it's just more about collecting the data we got rather than actually working on the car or designing it. So just comparing and work our way from there. So not really time consuming, I would say.
You mentioned the Daytona 24-hour esports race. What can you actually do with the data to enhance the car's performance? Could you share something specific your team was struggling with? What did you take away from the analysis?
Yeah, so the Daytona 24 endurance racing I was a data engineer for the driver we had, and my role was to check how much fuel consumption per lap is being used by the driver. Are we on the target of the fuel consumptions? Do I need to tell the driver to conserve more fuel by using different techniques like lifting or coasting? or tell the driver that we can push as we got extra fuel as well. And also we got to add a graph as well to see the trend line going of the fuel consumption. So predict how many laps we probably got left before we have to pit. Make call outs to the driver saying, yeah, we might have to pit in 2 laps or 3 laps. Or if you want to try to go longer to conserve fuel so we can get more, instead of 3 laps, you can get 4, maybe 5. So yeah, stuff like that. The really challenge I would say is probably, as it's a 24 endurance racing, probably staying awake late night would be difficult as well. And in terms of team struggling, I'd probably say like the traffic in the race, getting damage on the car, so a longer pit stop, which might lose its position. So hence the next driver stint probably have to go quicker, and then we have to sort of shorten the laps because we're consuming more fuel, but we're trying to gain more time. So stuff like that will probably, I would say, those were the very specific struggles. Except that overall our race went pretty well. But, we finished P5, which is really good in endurance racing.
Is there a specific quality that you believe is especially helpful for your course? Could you elaborate on one that you feel is your strength?
A specific quality, I would say, is just about getting the experience and getting practical experience and sort of like hands-on on the engine, on the car. So working how different machines we can use to get the data as well, and how specific components work. It's just probably more about the practical experience, which is a really good quality. I would say my special quality, probably right now, which I'm still learning, is probably the more theory side, not the practical hands-on yet, because I'm getting the experience. So you're really understanding the theory, the maths, the physics behind it, and sort of applying it to the questions right now, and sort of applying it to real life as well.
You're already doing internships in your first year. Is that a necessity in motorsport or more of a competitive advantage?
I wouldn't say it's a necessity, but it's definitely an advantage. If the more internships and more practical experience in a company, getting the real world experience would be much better. And that's all I'm hoping to do from my first year. It does give you an advantage, definitely, because there's a lot of candidates applying for it. And if you got really good experience, you got really good reference from the different companies, and your knowledge, and you share that with the company you want to work in, they would definitely see you as a better candidate rather than someone who may have less experience or no experience.
What do you think teams look for more in junior engineers, knowledge or mindset?
That's a very good question. Both are really good to have, knowledge and the mindset, but probably currently these days it's more about the experience they look for in the junior engineers and what have they done during their university or internship. Yeah, mindset does come into play probably during the interview or once the person gets into the team. But before that, I think they probably look for the more how knowledgeable you are in the industry or in the sector they've applied to work for, how much knowledge they've got about it. So I would probably say knowledge first, and then they would have like a criteria for having this mindset of working or being committed to the team.
Okay, yeah, checking.
Okay then, that's it for today's special English episode of VR Checking. Hopefully you got some interesting information about what it's like to study motorsport engineering in the UK. The recording needed to be a bit more specific this time, but we believe you could find the interview interesting. See you next time.
VR checking.